James Gunn released the first trailer for his Superman film. We also got some comments from him where he previewed the trailer at a press preview and also participated in a Q&A. He literally said that the battered Superman that is shown at the very beginning of the trailer is a metaphor for the United States of America. No, I'm not making this up. That is what he said. That is a major, major red flag, especially once we get into the other things that he says on top of that, and then you put into context what this guy has said over the past, 5, 6, 7 years. He also claims that the movie shares many elements with Game of Thrones. Not sure why he would say that, given the fact that Game of Thrones was an absolute atrocious show that ended abysmally and is reviled for its absolute awful ending. And it is literally shown as how not to end a television show or a story in general. And then he also said it's not a fascistic power fantasy. The fact that you're having to qualify that means that you think of Superman like that, and I think almost should disqualify you immediately for saying that. I mean, this isn't Red Sun, right? Anyways, let's get into this right here. So speaking about the trailer at the Q&A with the press after they were given a preview of the trailer, Gunn said this: "We do have a battered Superman in the beginning. That is our country," obviously referring to the United States of America. He then elaborated saying, "I believe in the goodness of human beings, and I believe that most people in this country, despite their ideological beliefs, their politics, are doing their best to get by and be good people. Despite what it may seem like to the other side, no matter what that other side might be, this movie is about that. It's about the basic kindness of human beings, and that it can be seen as uncool and under siege by some of the darker voices are some of the louder voices." So that is what he had to say. So let's actually get into some of those, what does he say? Darker voices, being some of the louder voices, because he's one of those darker voices. Let's be honest, right? This is what he posted in 2018. He's deleted all of these, right? But he says, "I will give $100,000 to Trump's favorite charity if he will step on an accurate scale with an impartial medical professional. Okayed by both of us. For real. Hashtag Girther. Hashtag Girther movement." The guy has a massive case of Trump derangement syndrome. And he still has it. Just look at Creature Commandos. Everything I've seen from that is that he is lampooning right-wing people, calling them incels or whatever, and casting them as the villain, as the villains. This guy has not eschewed any of these beliefs. He still believes all of this to a T. He just hides it extraordinarily well now and hopes that you forget all of this stuff that he posted back in 2018. And that's not even getting into the absolutely sick, vile, disgusting posts and conversations that got him fired from the Walt Disney Company to begin with. This guy should not even be in Hollywood. Let's be real. He shouldn't even have the opportunity to make this film. There should be an investigation into him. Ted Cruz was right when he called for that all the way back, 7 years ago? Whatever it was. There should have been an investigation into this guy. Here's something else that he said. This has nothing to do with fat shaming. It has to do with a continuous pattern of fabricating facts by both Trump and his administration. He thinks Trump and the administration were just lying. He says, "That's the point of my tweet. The biggest issue we are facing is a dictator wannabe who is trying to destroy the press. When facts don't matter, we can't even begin to have real conversations and debates about policy with a figure like that leading our country." In another post, he wrote this: "I'd much rather have that elephant be leading our democracy into ruin, because at least he would be adorbs while doing it." Basically saying that Trump is leading the country into ruin. Remember, this is the guy who's now trying to say, "I believe that most people in this country, despite their ideological beliefs, their politics, are doing their best to get by and be good people, despite what it may seem like to the other side, no matter what that other side might be." This is absolutely not true. The people advocating for butchering children are not good. The people advocating for killing kids are not good people. This is very easy to discern. But they have been gaslit by people like James Gunn, by Hollywood, by corrupt politicians, by corporations, to think that this stuff is okay. And it's absolutely not. It is absolutely not okay. So there is a distinct line. And if you're advocating for human mutilation, you're advocating for gender ideology, you're advocating for the killing of innocent children, you're not a good person. Those are not good things. Those are evil. So this is all fake right here. This is fake. This guy's a liar. And it's very clear because we see all these things that he said just what? 2017, 2018, 6 years ago. We see this. He still believes all this stuff. Just watch Creature Commandos. There's more though, right? In my years on social networking, I have never spoken out politically, but we're in a national crisis with an incompetent president forging a full-blown attack on facts and journalism in the style of Hitler and Putin. I'm okay with losing fans with my choice to speak out. You don't think this is going to be included in a Lois Lane story in this movie? What's the song? I got some oceanfront property in Arizona. I think it's Arizona. Oklahoma, maybe. Same difference, right? Here's another one where he is mocking Trump and his administration. Trump, do you know anything about the position? No, sir, I do not. Nothing. Trump, are you on my private part? Candidate, yes, sir, I am completely always on your private part forever. Trump, you're in. You think someone like this somehow had a epiphany? Is there anyone like a massive celebrity that has had an epiphany like this? No, we've seen them all double down and triple down. George Takei, Mark Hamill. Here's another one. This is why I have spoken out about politics today. Not because of true political disagreements, but because one man, President Trump, has been conducting a full-scale assault on objective truth. It's hilarious, right? This is the guy who's telling you that both sides are just good people when one side is literally butchering children, advocating for sick, evil gender ideology that leads to mutilation. But they're just good people. This is the guy who can say, like, President Trump is waging a full-scale assault on objective truth. Yeah, I mean, you can't make it up. You cannot make this stuff up. Anyways, he went on to trumpet the movie. He says, I'm excited for people to get to see the essence of what we're doing because it really has been like this private secret that we've all been hoarding. We felt really good about it, like from a moral place, even from the beginning. We all felt like we were doing something good, both in terms of quality and in terms of actually something that's not a fascistic power fantasy. I guarantee you that this film is going to include messaging that promotes disordered behavior, that promotes some kind of evil ideology, and they will try to show it as good. Guaranteed. That is what Hollywood does. That is what they do. They admit this over and over and over again. The most recent one that comes to mind is the Last of Us director, where he admitted that he wanted to trick audiences into watching gay propaganda. They made a whole road trip movie about killing a child and tried to make it out to be like it's like a cool thing. And these are the people that this guy who lives in that space, works in that space, is literally made Creature Commandos, where he is clearly following this practice, has the gall to tell us that he made a Superman movie from a moral place. I don't believe you. He then qualified saying, I'm not saying that about other hero movies in general, but it felt good to be doing something that was about a person's kindness. Fulton Sheen talks about this. It's something called false compassion. He has a whole episode on it. I have a feeling that's what we're going to get here with this Superman movie. He also claimed the film shares as many elements with Game of Thrones as it does with the Marvel Universe. Why would you compare your Superman movie to Game of Thrones? Game of Thrones is all about making degeneracy look cool because you get rewarded for it. Commit all these heinous, disgusting, evil acts. You get to sit on the Iron Throne. You're a good person who does what's right, get your head lopped off. That's the message of Game of Thrones. Do all kinds of nasty, sick things with your sister or your brother. Sit on the Iron Throne, rule Westeros. But that's what James Gunn had to say about Superman. I think this movie is going to be terrible. I think a lot of people are probably going to get hook, line, and sinker into it, though. I think this is going to be the new model for Hollywood. I think this film is going to be one of the first to embrace this. It's not going to be as in your face as what we've seen in the past from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's going to be a lot more subtle, and I think it's going to dupe a lot of people. And that's why we have to be wary. And he's literally comparing this beat up, battered Superman to the United States of America. Like, that is the starting point of the trailer, and that's the starting point of his discussion about this movie. That's what James Gunn thinks about the United States. So that's what James Gunn thinks about the American people. Let me know what you guys make of this. Let me know in the comments below. Remember to always be charitable, especially to each other, and to always, always speak the truth.